What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I have a super cool boot review for you guys today. It is the Mizuno Alpha, Mizuno's brand new speed boot, and it is so cool looking in photos. I'm just gonna hop straight into the unboxing because this is absolutely sick. We'll talk about tech features, we'll get on feet. So full disclosure, this is a size 8.5 US, and the reason I went half a size down is because in a lot of the other Mizuno models, they tend to run about a half a size long or a quarter size long. So I thought, hey, lengthwise is more important to me. If I don't fit in them widthwise, maybe they're not the boots for me, but that's the idea. So I actually went half a size down, similar to recommendations from people who I know in the boot world who have already tried the boots on. Made in Japan, Mizuno Alpha, so exciting. So this is the box, very basic, made in Japan. Awesome little gold logo there. Nothing on that side or that side. Here's your sizing for you. There you go. So Mizuno Alpha, made in Japan, US 8.5, UK 7.5, and a Euro 41. This boot, although the sizing is kind of wonky, I think this boot actually will fit me pretty well. So without further ado, let's jump into the unboxing. Oh my God, I can already see the color popping out. So full disclosure, this is the World Cup colorway in the blue that's a little more green turquoise than the blue that I use for my brand, but I'm so stoked to see these. I love this color blue for boots. The Morelia, I did a review on the Morelia Neo 3 betas that was in a very, very similar color. So hopefully they match pretty well. So out of the box, you get the typical made in Japan Mizuno bag, which is honestly the lowest quality bag you can get in a boot. I don't know why they actually do these types of bags. Like you pay a decent amount of money for the boots. In fact, they're like the most expensive boots on the market, and they come in this really cheap bag, which I do not understand. I don't think that's very good on Mizuno's part. If Mizuno were to do something a little bit more like the Adler boots, so that you get an embroidered, really nice string bag, it makes you feel more luxurious, the experience more luxurious, and the unboxing, frankly, a little bit nicer. But maybe they're just putting all of their money into the boots, and fair enough, because these boots are super high tech, and we're going to talk about why. So straight away, oh, no way. Oh my God. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Mizuno Alpha, made in Japan, in this beautiful blue and bronze colorway. I think these look super incredible. Absolutely stunning. I'm so excited to talk about this upper. And as you can see, we'll talk about this as well. That beautiful carbo insole. Wow. Just take a minute to have a look at these. I'll spin them around. Wow. Okay, so these are one of the most beautiful speed boots I think I've ever seen. The silhouette is so low profile. They're incredibly lightweight. In fact, I think they're the lightest boots on the market. Depending on your size, they come in right around the 190 to 195 gram range, which is really, really lightweight. I believe that's about 6.5 ounces. Super lightweight, super nice upper. We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's get the other one out of the box. You've got this really nice little card that comes with it. The first Mizuno store in the early 1910s. Very, very cool. There you go. Nice and fun. Okay, get the other one out of the box as well. Boom, okay. Get the box out of the way. And there is your Mizuno Alpha. Put it over in the corner here. Beautiful. Okay, so the Mizuno Alpha is a really, really cool and interesting pair of football boots. Definitely goes away from the traditional Mizuno heritage, which tends to be super high quality leather. You get incredible K leather, you get made in Japan durability and build quality. And they've translated that into kind of going pretty quiet, if I'm honest, over the past couple years, at least since the Morelia 3 beta came out, which was a slight tweak on what was their speed boot basically. And then they incorporated, instead of having a floating tongue, they incorporated the knit part of the tongue, which I think for some people added a really nice locked in sensation. But for players like me who need a little bit more adjustability in the midfoot for wider foot types, those boots just completely went off my list of boots that I can actually wear and train in. And you guys can go check out that video. But I was like, these are the number one boot I wish I could wear, but they're just too thin because of the predetermined shape. With this boot, I am so excited that they've done a fully floating tongue, but it's with a synthetic upper. So this synthetic upper is just absolutely crazy soft. Let's take a look at this. Unbelievable, super soft. So let's talk about a few of the tech specs. So as I mentioned before, 190 to 195 grams, depending on the size of shoe you wear. That's thanks to this carbon plate. That's thanks to the super lightweight and thin. You can see how thin that synthetic upper is. And it is so soft, very nice. Lightweight feeling boot. You've got the Mizuno Energy Foam here in the heel area. So this is that energy foam. You're not really gonna feel it, and I think that's the whole point of it. So it's really gonna make you have a nice cushioned feeling underfoot, as well as these little ridges. So if you see all these little ridges that run along the upper, that's what's called the engineered fit frame. So this engineered fit frame woven upper then also has that frame underneath, and you can actually feel, maybe I can do this as well. If you see those little, there we go. So you can see those little pads, and that is the Mizuno Ener Z foam. They put a Z instead of a G, but there's that foam right there. So along each of these little raised parts of this frame, which basically is supposed to keep you locked into the boot without having any sort of lockdown issues, as the boot is so thin. Basically what that padding is going to do is give you a really nice feel and fit on the ball. So you're going to have a good, secure lock-in fit, lots of lockdown, and you're going to have a little bit of extra padding so it's not just the thinnest material you've ever felt in your life. This, I mean, right here, especially when it's not on these little frame pieces, is so incredibly thin. So I am very impressed by that. And then in the toe area, which is actually an interesting feature, I'm curious to know how this is going to fit and feel on feet. But in this toe area, you notice there are a little bit more kind of frame pieces, if you will. And I'm wondering if that's just to add a little bit more padding here in the toe area. And again, when we're talking about padding, we're talking about millimeters. I mean, it's so thin, as you guys can see on either side. These foam pieces right there are super thin. So you're not going to get, this is still going to be one of the most barefoot feeling shoes on the market, in at least that, as far as feeling the upper and guessing based on things I've already tried. This is going to be super barefoot. This is just going to take a little bit of the sting out of the ball. Then moving on to the outsole, which is brand new for the Mizuno brand. These are a ton of triangle studs, and then you've got sort of a double triangle stud there in the, hopefully that picks it up. There you go. So it's basically two triangle studs back to back, and there's a little bit of separation between that you can see. Beautiful right there. So mostly triangle studs, 9 in the forefoot, 4 in the heel area, very aggressive, very reminiscent of the Adidas F50 Adizero 4s, I believe. They had a lot of triangle studs, and those are great for multi-directional movement. You're seeing even the Vapor 15 Elite move to, focus for me please, thank you. You're seeing the Vapor 15 move to studs that look a little bit more like this as well. Obviously they're a little more star-shaped than this one is, but it definitely follows the same pattern, and it's supposed to give you good amount of lateral stability moving side to side while also giving you a really nice push off as you move forward. Very, very aggressive, and I think people will really appreciate that this is a change from the traditional conical stud pattern that the Morelia Neo series and to be fair, the Rebula Cup series as well, which is now discontinued, I believe. But Mizuno had tended to be a pretty conical stud-based boot brand, and I think this is a great refresh for a boot that's supposed to be one of the best speed boots on the market. The Carvo insert right here, this insole board, which basically runs from right through the midfoot all the way through the toe area, gives it a ton of flex. You guys know how much I absolutely love the Adidas X Speed Flow, Speed Portal, and that Carbitex insert. This is a very, very similar material, and my guess is it's going to provide a lot of snapback. As you can see from the silhouette though, a lot of there's not a lot of arch like a lot of the Asics boots like this, right? If the boot comes kind of predetermined like this, you kind of are up on your toes most of the time that you are in the boots. But I think with these ones, what they've done is they've given you the flexibility to be a little more flat and into the boot. And then obviously this will give you a ton of snapback. So I'm very excited to try this sole plate. I think it's a fantastic addition to this new speed category for Mizuno, and I think they'll still produce the Mizuno Morelia Neo 3 and Neo 3 betas, as well as, I haven't seen the DNAs in a while, but the Morelia 2s, and then my guess is it's possible they'll come out with a more control style boot, although my guess is that the Morelia Neo 3 will sort of morph into a really lightweight, more control boot, similar to the Asics DS Lite X Fly 4, which is sort of their like all-around boot. And my guess is that's sort of where the marketing is going, because if you look at a Morelia Neo 3 beta next to this, it's very obvious to tell. I think 10 out of 10 people would say this is the speed boot out of the two, right? So pretty straightforward from that perspective. But these are absolutely beautiful. I love how these look. The other thing that is going to go pretty unnoticed from an aesthetic perspective, but adds probably the most important piece of this speed boot, is the Zero Glide technology that they always incorporate on their insoles. You can see this really cool insert here. So we'll get this out. So there you go. So there's that Mizuno Alpha made in Japan. So in all of Mizuno's, one of the things that I've always praised about Mizuno is their insoles are super flimsy and not, the build quality is just fine. It's nothing to write home about. But this Zero Glide technology that they've put on the upper, hopefully it picks it up. It's a very, very subtle texturing that adds sort of a waxy and sticky sensation. And so you put that inside of a boot, and regardless of whether you're wearing grip socks or not, it does a fantastic job at making your foot feel super secure in the boot. Now, what they've done with this is, hopefully you can see, this heel area is now lined with that Zero Glide technology. So all this black material in the heel is completely lined with that Zero Glide tech. And so as you slip your heel in the back of this boot, it's really gonna lock your heel in place. And my guess, and I love the heel of Mizuno boots, I think they're absolutely fantastic and will fit most foot types. That will add a little bit of extra grip so that you're not slipping this way in and out, and then you're not rotating at all, because that Zero Glide tech goes all the way around the upper, which is such a cool thing. And including that, because they've gone with this standalone tongue, what they've also done is added Zero Glide tech. I know it's not the same color, but it's right on the bottom of this texturing, right on the bottom of the tongue. And so as you put the tongue in place and then you tie the laces tight, that's not gonna move on the top of your sock because of the Zero Glide tech that's on the underside of this tongue. Absolutely fantastic, and you can tell the craftsmanship and the detail in this boot is just fantastic, and I think that those additions of the Zero Glide in the entire heel area, you can see the black here all the way up there, that black material, and then of course in the sole plate, or excuse me, in the insert as well. Both of these features, or all three of those features of Zero Glide, are going to create such an incredible locked in sensation that I imagine if I actually fit in these, which I hope I do because I haven't tried these on yet. So if I do fit in them, at least at all, I'm going to really try to break them in and get a 1 month review, because I would imagine that this will be, because of the subtle detail in technology, this will be one of, if not the best heel area and lockdown sensations of any boot I've tried, just from looking at the boots and saying, wow, look at what they've done here with the subtle details to add that extra little bit of grip. Absolutely fantastic. So enough about tech. Really quickly on the aesthetics, beautiful blue, that bronze. You've got a couple details, this really cool Mizuno Running Bird logo here on the lateral side. You've got on the medial side the Mizuno Running Bird as well. Plus it says designed speed right there. Hopefully you can pick that up. There you go. Little design speed action. And then it also has Mizuno Energy on the back as well. Maybe that'll pick it up, hopefully. Maybe. There you go, right there. Little logoing. And then the Mizuno heel on the back as well. So very, very cool football boot. I am so excited to try these on. They look beautiful. They feel incredibly soft. Let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video, and that's probably what you guys are all here for. So let's hop straight into it.
All right, fam, we are out here at the pitch. It is absolutely freezing right now. I've got the Mizuno Alphas ready to go to get on feet. We're gonna hop straight into this. I'm just gonna take my gloves off quick so I can get the boots tied and laced up. We'll get a sense of what the ball feel is like, what the boots actually feel like on feet, and it's just gonna be a fantastic time. I'm really excited to see how these fit and feel on feet. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so there you go. They look absolutely stunning in the sun. I am just super stoked with how these boots came out. They also have the ability to do a runner's knot here on the sides, which I think is an awesome situation. I am not wearing grip socks today because I feel like these boots are gonna be pretty tight straight out of the box, but we're just gonna jump into it. All right, getting the boots on. They are definitely tight out of the box, especially if you're wider feet. Ooh. Wow. Okay, so this reminds me a lot of like a very traditional speed boot, synthetic, definitely a tight fit straight out of the box. But we will get these laced up and get an idea of what they feel like all tied tight. The toe box is definitely a little snug right now, but they do feel like, because of the way that this lacing system is set up, they do feel like they're going to stretch pretty nicely, which I think is fantastic. So let's see if we can get this runner's knot going. That way I can get a little bit more lockdown in the upper. So you put that through there. This one goes through here. And then you can tie it tight, and you can see the sides of that boot are, maybe I'll tie it a little bit tighter. Sorry guys, this is taking me half a second. My hands are absolutely freezing, so just trying to get this all put together while recording. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. All right, and then get that runner's knot going. Boom. Okay. And then we'll get a single knot probably on this one. We'll see how it goes. So right away, there is a little bit of hot spot right on this outside, but it's not too bad. Lengthwise, definitely half a size down was the move. So you can kind of see how the length fits me absolutely perfectly. There's just a tiny bit of extra space on the toe, which is absolutely perfect for that. No issues there. And we'll get this other one on as well. But these are fitting really well for a synthetic speed boot, I gotta admit. Definitely feel a little bit better than the Puma Ultra Ultimate, which I've also reviewed. Those ended up being just too thin for my feet, if I'm honest, especially after the final break-in time. My 1 month review was very much like I really like these boots and I want them to fit. They just don't fit me well enough, which fair play. And some people are going to fit in them, some people aren't, and that's cool. But these, no hot spots yet on my left foot as I'm getting my right foot on here. Really snug fit, especially, again, if you are a wider foot type. Hopefully I can get this heel area in. Oh my goodness. So that grippy stuff on the outside of the no slip, really, you can feel that in full effect on the back of this boot. It is spectacular how grippy it is on the back. So very excited to test these out for the 1 month review, and of course moving on from there, would love to be able to wear these in games and stuff, because I can already tell these are going to be a special pair of football boots. And for those of you who are speed boot heads and you really like your speed boots, guys, these are going to be game changing, I think, and these absolutely crush the competition in my opinion. We'll have to do like a 2022 speed boot comparison. And again, apologies, this is taking me so damn long to get these boots on my feet. I'm just trying to get them all laced up. There we go. And with the ability to do the runner's knot, you really get rid of the space right here. So there we go, fully put on, and my oh my, these are snug. These are a very, very snug pair of football boots. No issues with them, to be fair, which is amazing. No hot spots yet, but they are pretty stiff straight out of the box. Because it is an all synthetic, my feet are locked in there like nothing I've ever felt before. Those are unbelievable football boots, and holy moly. There you go. Okay, so this is what the football boots look like on feet. Number one, I think this color is absolutely spectacular. They fit really, really snug. A very one-to-one sensation on feet. You can tell the Carvo insole in there is really popping. And by that I mean it just has such a nice bounce back effect. You really get a very similar experience to the Carbitex insert from Nike, which is one of my favorites on the market. So for me, this is an excellent sole plate. Lots of good pivot power, but it is pretty aggressive. So if you are on shorter grass AG pitches, just be a little bit careful, just because it can probably be, it might be a little bit too aggressive for proper AG pitches, but stuff like this that's really nice and it's pretty thick AG is actually really spectacular. Touch on the ball, predicted, very barefoot. Very, very nice. It's got the tiniest little bit of padding from those foam inserts, but the boot feels so barefoot, feels so sleek, and really wraps your foot in a way that I only get on a few speed boots, but only ones that are sort of like a synthetic leather, kind of like the Battle Pack remakes. These are synthetic and they wrap my foot already super, super nicely. They definitely, as you can see from the up close ones, they definitely give a little bit of width because of how awesome that lacing system is. Both Asics and Mizuno do such a great job at giving wider foot types the ability to get in there and to lace it up and give a little bit more width and depth, so that yes, okay, this toe box is pretty thin, but as soon as you get out here where my foot type is the widest, if you notice, this boot is able to stretch a little bit. And because of this runner's knot and the ability to have two lacing holes up at the top here, I'm able to do the runner's knot and pull this otherwise would be fat gap closer to my ankle. And it really gives this nice, sleek, low profile look. And so for me, this is an excellent pair of football boots. The ball feel is insane. I love the way the sole plate gives you a nice bouncy effect, turning, pivoting. These boots are super secure on feet, like one of the most locked in sensations I felt on a football boot. In my opinion, these are on par, if not better than the Vapors as far as locked in sensation. Because they're so beautiful and low profile, I also feel like these are going to be such a great boot for players who want basically a seamless sensation between your foot and the ball. So even if you are somebody who enjoys a little bit more of a padded sensation, you gotta try these. These are insane. These are insane. I am so stoked about these boots, and honestly, zero hot spots so far. They're molding to my feet pretty well, and I'm so pumped to be able to get a couple training sessions in and really test them out, because the feeling that I get with these boots is so nice. So I'm hoping they break in a little bit. I'm looking forward to stretching them out width-wise, especially in that midfoot area. And I'm really excited about the Mizuno Alpha. I think these, as far as non-exclusive, non-limited edition speed boots goes, this is number one on my list right now by a pretty large margin. I know a lot of people, including Michael, love the Air Zoom unit. One of my other friends, Ryan, who you guys have seen in videos before, both Ryan and Michael love that Air Zoom unit. I tend to prefer the carbon inserts just because I don't really like, I want to feel low to the ground but also responsive, and the carbon or the Carvo inserts kind of do that for me. But this sole plate, the combination of the sole plate, the synthetic but very much woven upper that gives you just a really nice tight sensation on feet, plus the no grip or no slip technology basically on the tongue area, on the insert, and in the heel area, just gives one of the most locked in sensations I've ever had on my feet. So for out of a box comfort for any speed boot that was designed and released in 2022, and I'm not talking about special editions, I'm not talking like F50 remakes or anything like that, just regular edition, available to mass market speed boots. These actually, I think, in the unboxing, even top the New Balance Furon, which was my favorite speed boot before. These are more responsive, they're tighter fitting, and they really are a pretty sensational pair of football boots. And if you can get your hands on a pair, I ordered them on Mizuno USA, so they're pretty easy to get, at least as far as I'm concerned. They shift really quickly, and this color just absolutely is stunning. So I'm so looking forward to the next generation, or next colorways of these, what they come out with, and I'm really looking forward to trying these out and playing in them for a longer period of time. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.